The Blackhawks lose 3-2 to the Canadiens in their home opener. There is a ton to get to. Join us next on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Thanks for being with us. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen. Mario Tirabassi is back at the UC and will join us soon. Cannot wait to hear what Jeff Blashill has to say about this one. Do us a favor, hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. If you're catching up on the podcast, we love you. We thank you. Make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app. This has been the story of the season, Greg, is the Hawks come out, they play their asses off, they play inspired, they play physical, they're playing strong defensively, and they come up short in the end. Today, they lose 3-2 with 16 seconds left in this game, after taking 10. Is it 10? Did I miss one?
They took 14 penalties total.
Okay, and 10 power plays.
That's too many.
That's too many.
I've
yes,
never played at the NHL level.
Give it time.
But I know 14 penalties is too many.
Well, and look,
probably about 12 too many.
And even if you want to argue that, well, it was ticky-tack, fine. Let's just say that half of them were ticky-tack or soft calls. That's still 7 penalties.
That's still too many.
Still too many.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a lot of penalties. And,
yes,
and usually when you have you have that first period where the Hawks had 4 penalties against them, and then they get 2 early in the second period. Usually the refs are like, okay, Hawks are going to get a couple power plays here, and they got a couple in the third period, but the discrepancy was bad. But there were some questionable calls. There were some calls that Montreal, we'll get into the whole spiciness that happened tonight, but I still don't understand how Ivan Demidov didn't get any penalties when he's throwing sucker punches at a guy already on the ice engaged with somebody else.
I don't
like a punk.
Ivan Demidov played?
The only time I noticed him the entire night was when he was being a little punk. And before that, I noticed him when, Wyatt Kaiser was down there giving him the business, like the ref said. Yeah, just beating his ass in front of the net.
Ivan Demidov did his Lucas Reichel impersonation. 2 shot attempts and a -1.
You could have sworn both him and Levshunov were scratched tonight.
Yeah,
he played.
Well, we got to get to
that.
I mean, dude, there is so much to get to in this game. So let's get to the actual game itself. The Hawks got goals from Sam Rinzel, his first NHL goal. Connor Bedard deflects a Frank Nazar assist. That is Frank Nazar's 4th assist. He's got 5 points in 3 games for the Hawks. He is absolutely killing it right now. Connor Bedard is playing well. Look, this is another one where, aside from the penalties, I don't really have any complaints about how they played, despite having 10 penalty kills. The shots on goal in this game were 28-22.
Right. The fact that the Canadiens only had 28 shots on goal and 3 goals on a game where you got 10 power plays, I don't think they're that good at hockey.
Also, the Caulfield goal was a high stick. I'm sorry that you're 4 feet tall.
Right. I mean,
but your stick was up here.
Even a guy like that, when he's doing this, it's still below the crossbar.
That's true, dude. I saw him.
Guy.
I saw Cole Caulfield in the bowels of the United Center when I was going to get my chicken cacciatore. He is small. He's a little guy. Confirm,
and he's
Cole
not
Caulfield
even the smallest guy on that team.
No, he's a really good player.
He is. He's a very good player.
But I mean,
And then you could argue that the third goal was goalie interference, but I don't know what that is anymore. So I don't try and sit there and scream.
Also, like, what's the statute of limitations on it? Is it like how many?
He pushed me in the first period, and they scored now. Like I don't know, but like, listen, the Hawks have 1 point in 3 games.
Yeah,
but they've got 3 1-goal losses
against Florida,
against 2 teams that made the playoffs last year.
And I don't think we know what Boston is yet.
No,
I think they're bad.
Yeah, but I mean, they're far more fun to watch this season.
Oh my God,
they're far more competitive. They're scrappy. Connor Bedard's got a red ass this year,
yes,
and I'm here for it. I like the fact that he's just not taking crap anymore from anybody, and he's the one that's initiating these scrums and getting in the middle of it. I don't know how he got that extra 2 minutes on that other penalty, when he got mugged at the whistle, but whatever.
Probably called the ref a putz or something. Again.
Whatever. He probably said something in French. Obviously, these refs all spoke French tonight, but this team is going to figure out how to win these games.
Yes, and
they're going to win a lot more of these games now. Like here's what I like to see. We saw it in Boston. We saw it tonight. Both of their goals came almost immediately after Montreal scored, within a couple of minutes. We saw that in Boston, where they scored after Boston scored. That's a good sign, because how many times last year did they give up a 2-1 goal and then they give up another one right after, and then they're done?
100%.
But now they're responding with goals, and they're responding by winning the next shift after a goal, and that's so huge. I love seeing that. Like this, the results aren't there yet, but if you're not encouraged by what this team can do when they figure it out, and when they get more disciplined and they get the systems down here in another few games and they get healthy, so we don't have to see Sam Lafferty waste everybody's time anymore. This is going to be this is already
Sam Brody.
This season is already
TJ Lafferty. And keep going.
Tyler Lafferty.
I'll stop.
Sam Kachuk. I'm sorry.
Kachuk, not Kachuk.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This team, 3 games in, is already more fun than they were at any point in the last 2 years.
This was one of the most entertaining Hawks games that we have covered as a beat since the inception of CHGO.
Tonight was one of the most fun nights in the United Center in a long time because of the game.
Right. The pregame stuff was awesome too, but the game itself.
We've been there for the Chelios,
yes,
Patrick Kane extravaganza. Jonathan Taves last night was electric, but this was the first time that the game itself got the crowd going. It felt like a playoff game. It felt on the ice and off the ice. The crowd was in it. Like, this was a fun game. And that's just the first one of the year. Like, this is encouraging. Yes, you'd like to have more than 1 point right now, but they're not losing because they're getting completely outclassed.
Right.
They're losing because they're making, a one too many critical mistakes at bad times. Young teams are going to do that, or some bad puck luck. Let's face it. That Caulfield goal was a little wacky. That last goal was a little wacky.
Yep.
The game-winning goal in Florida was wacky. Like they've had some bad luck too. So they'll figure it out. But this is an encouraging for a team that only has 1 point in 3 games. It's an encouraging start.
They're the best 1 point team in hockey. I'm confident in saying that. That's for sure. And if you are just a box score peruser, actually, even if you just do that, you will be able to see that the shots on goal are closer. If you're a natural stat trick guy, the Corsi ratings have been closer. The shot attempts, the expected goals, all those things have been improved for the Hawks. This team, I'm going to say, is better coached than it's been since the rebuild began. You've got guys who are, they feel truly bought in to what is happening here. Like, these guys are fighting for, as soon as Frank Nazar got hit by Kaiden Guhle, Louis Crevier is like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
It was Tabo jumped in first.
Tabo got there first.
And Crevier was like, out of my way.
Here I'm coming. I'll be right there.
You rang. And
exactly.
then you rang Guhle's bell.
Yeah.
That's an Addams Family reference for you kids out
can
there.
Google that. Yeah, that's Lurch. That's the old nickname for Eric Daze.
Yeah,
it made me feel very old today with his gray hair.
Made me feel very old today.
We're going to get to that later in the show. We're going to be a little slower on the comments tonight because Steven is Steven is working from home, and we have a low-resolution screen in our room, so we're going to try to keep up with the comments and the super chats. We promise we'll get to those after the break. We're going to hear from Mario, too, in a little bit. I really can't wait to hear what Jeff Blashless say, because first he was pissed, and then the third period, as the penalties kept coming, he just stared at the refs and laughed, which is almost more, if I'm a ref, that's a little more off-putting than getting yelled at.
Jeff Blashill is not a guy I want to be on the wrong side of.
No.
He's a very nice guy, but he also is a guy that when he's upset, he will let you know.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what he's going to say. Will he be getting a fine from the NHL with some post-game comments?
I hope so.
We'll see. Why not?
I would.
It's your third game here. It's your third game here. How many
would.
times last year did we sit there and a post-game show and say, why isn't Anders Sorensen sticking up for his team?
We literally asked him about it.
Yeah. So this would be the perfect time to stand at that podium and say, these refs suck.
Yeah.
Fine me. I'm sticking up for my team.
That's right.
This could be the galvanization of the Blackhawks. This loss. It's a galvanizing loss. Make it happen, Jeff.
Haven't been galvanized for a while. Couple of the individual performances we wanted to mention. I already said Frank Nazar with 2 assists, Teuvo Teravainen with 2 assists. Both those guys were +1. Bedard with a goal. But Ilya Mikheyev,
beast.
That first penalty, I think it was the first penalty, he was single-handedly chasing down every Montreal Canadien, taking the puck from them, and like Mikheyev was a dog on a bone today, and played. He plays pretty tenaciously as it is, but you said it when we were watching the game. Like, what did the Canadiens do to Ilya Mikheyev that has him so enraged?
I like it. He's a guy that, they want to bring him back for another year or two after this year. I'm for it. Because he's been last year and the beginning of this year, he's been what Jason Dickinson's supposed to be, and just hasn't been for the last season plus. But like, if he keeps this up and he wants to stay here, make it happen. I mean, you need guys like that. He fits this team perfectly the way Jeff Blashill wants to play.
Yes, he does.
He's perfect. He's quiet as can be, but he's a guy that does all his talking with the way he plays. It's just absolutely tenacious.
Who is the someone in the chat will know, because it's probably 80% Sox fans tonight. We appreciate you being here. I think it was Scott Podsednik was announced as an all-star, and there was like no crowd reaction. That was Ilya Mikheyev walking the red carpet, and I think he was the Michael Jordan at the laptop, and I took that personally. I just want to give himself a little bit of a reputation with Hawks fans. He played really well, and for the second game in a row, Andrei Burakovsky, really good, smokes the crossbar. Oh my! I thought the net was going to pop off the marsh pegs.
More bad puck luck. He gets an amazing shot, beats Montembeault over the goal, over his glove hand, and just
French bread.
If it was an inch lower, it would have gotten snuck under the bar.
Story
but
of my life.
Didn't happen. But yeah, Bertuzzi was or not Bertuzzi, Burakovsky. Very good these first 3 games. As good as advertised, maybe even better. Pleasantly surprised at how good he's been.
He's fast. He is shifty. He's got a hell of a shot. He also had a shot.
Good vision too.
Yeah, late in the third, he had a shot too that Montembeault just got like his ribs on. Yeah, I mean, look, they're in this game. A lot of good performances, but I'm not trying to be hot takey here, but I just worry about, does this intensity, does this ferocity that we've seen from the Hawks through 3 games, if the wins don't start coming, do guys just like start to check out a little bit? Because as well as they've played, and as hard as they've played, and as good as the vibes have been, #vibes on the Blackhawks, they're 0-2-1.
I think they're too young enough to let that affect them.
I hope so.
Like, if this is a battle-tested team, if this is last year's team, maybe they say, oh, man, we're exuding way too much effort here at the beginning of the year. We're getting no results. Time to reel it back in.
Yeah.
These guys want to win. Connor Bedard wants to win hockey games. He's sick and tired of losing.
Oh,
Frank Nazar does not like to lose.
Yeah.
Guys like Sam Rinzel came from winning programs. Guys like Ryan Green came from winning programs. They're not used to losing. They hate it.
Yes.
So no, I think if anything, it ratchets it up the intensity until they get those first couple wins.
And I will say too, you've got the ring ceremony for the Panthers. You've got the home opener for the Bruins. You've got the Centennial night for the Hawks.
Monday's gonna be a nice,
like the first normal game of the year.
Yeah,
when the Mammoth come to town.
The Utahns.
All right, we're gonna hit the break zone for the first time. We have about 350 people watching. We appreciate that big time. Please do us a favor, hit that like button for us. Be sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page. I know early in the season, a lot of people discovering us for the first time. Hello, welcome. We do 5 shows a week. Post games after every show. We do pre-games for every road game. We are credentialed. We are at every Hawks game. We're at every practice. We've got this thing covered like nobody else. So make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube and all that stuff, and get in the habit of hitting that like button for us. When we come back, we're going to get to your super chats, and we got to talk about the Artem Levshunov situation, which sat with me the wrong way, I got to say. We'll get into that next on CHGO Blackhawks. But first, whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. All the sports are underway. We've got football, basketball. Yes, the Bulls guys have been here at night. That means basketball's happening. MLB playoffs, college football, hockey's back. Everything's going on. Now is the time.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. Circa Sports Illinois. They have high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. You can bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. You like spreads? How about some props, futures, or in-game? Circa Sports has it, and they've got their name on the front of the Hawks jersey. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? You can call 1-800-GAMBLER. And after you do that, you can meet our friends at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. New vehicles are in store at Ray CDJR right now, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Drive into Fall event. See what they did? Because it's fall, you drive into fall. Okay. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Deep Chips, and Ramses. Right now, get 0% financing and 72 months available on new models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With a friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. With Ray's price promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. The price you see is the price you pay. It is really that simple. Thank you. Go check out our partner today to shop one of Chicago's largest inventories to find the right new vehicle for you. Don't miss out on the Drive into Fall event for huge savings on new models. For more info, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. All right, let's get to some of these super chats, Steven, if we can. I know we've got a couple at least queued up. McLovin says, I don't care who judges me, but you cannot convince me there isn't some sort of fix on us with how we've been officiated these first 3 games.
Hey, the league wants the Blackhawks to get Gavin McKenna. You can't win many games if you want to get Gavin McKenna. There you go.
And apparently the Pittsburgh Penguins are folding then.
Well, Pittsburgh Penguins won the first game, so they're out.
They've been eliminated for the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes.
Can't win on opening night and get the number 1 overall pick. Those are rules.
I'm not a blame the refs guy typically, but 14 penalties.
Yeah, it was.
Come on.
And some of those where you gave matching penalties, you didn't need that, or Bedard getting the extra. It was too lopsided on one side for my liking.
And Sam says, I like what I'm seeing, except for the penalties. If it was up to me, they'd bag skate for every penalty minute. Well, they would die.
I believe they're going to practice tomorrow, but they have a game on Monday. So let's not, let's not kill them in game 3. But I like the sentiment. I think some of the penalties tonight, are definitely avoidable. Your stick penalties, and a few of them were just heat of the moment. Those are the type of penalties you don't care. You don't care about Crevier getting the 17 minutes for the instigating. You don't care about some of those roughing penalties when you're sticking up for your teammates, but it's the trippings, it's the holdings, it's the interferences. Too much of that already this season.
Yeah, 100%. That's frustrating. All right, let's get into the By the way, a couple of people mentioning it about Tyler Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi was awesome tonight too, and has been good all year.
He's engaged.
He is that when he is engaged, he's a different dude.
That was his biggest problem last year, was he too many games where he wasn't engaged. But it must be something about Blashill, because he was engaged in the preseason, and that's all I want out of Tyler.
Loved him in Detroit too.
You don't like, you want to score 25 goals, awesome, but just give me this all 82 games.
Yes.
Just give me the engagement.
That's what you're paid for, Bertuzzi. Now try winning a game for a change.
But if he does this all season, then it's money well spent. But let's see.
And Warren Bedard for $2 says Demidov was the worst hab on the blue lines. So it makes the Levshov thing a little less painful. So here's the thing. Today, he was during the morning skate, was on the lines, was participating in power play drills. But pregame, Jeff Blashill said he really treated today's morning skate as a practice.
Well, and the thing that threw us for a loop is we went out waiting for Blashill in the hallway after practice, and we looked up. They have the screen there in the hallway that's got the live feed from inside the arena, and Levshunov is still on the ice by himself long after everybody else is gone. And we're like, oh, that's usually what the healthy scratches do. Weird how they handle it. And then they scratched him for the red carpet ceremony. And that's low. Let the guy have it. Let the kid have his thing.
I don't know if that's a policy that if you're not playing, because Dickinson wasn't on the red carpet, Joey Anderson wasn't on the red carpet. If you can walk, you should be on the red carpet.
I don't think there's anything about red carpet ceremonies in the NHL rule book. They're going to get fined.
If Kyle Calder can be on a red carpet. My brother from another mother, apparently.
When Kyle Calder sits around the red carpet, he sits around the red carpet.
Oh. Yes, I'm sorry.
Welcome to text messages from 6 hours ago.
The red carpet should not be like, it's only for dress players. I don't like that.
No,
I think it's crappy.
It's the fans. It's a moment to bond with the fans and celebrate the start of a new season. So yeah, that was kind of crappy. So it was weird. Blashill is a guy that likes to be a little secretive. We saw it in Boston with the surprise 7 defensemen. The LA Kings surprise you with New Jersey's. Jeff Blashill surprises you with an extra defenseman.
Well, Mario said when that curtain dropped from the scoreboard, he's like, they're going to put the black jerseys on. It's like, slow down.
No,
they're coming.
They haven't played a game yet in the jerseys they've been pumping all summer.
Exactly. A comment I saw up a little bit, Steven, it was about if Levshov keeps getting scratched, he should go back to Rockford. Yes, I think that will be, if they find that he's sitting 3 out of 4 games, then yes, he's going to go to Rockford.
I think this was a new coach setting, some accountability, especially with a young player like Levshunov. We saw full spectrum Artie Levshunov in those first 2 games. We saw 4 bad penalties, all avoidable stick penalties. One of them coming at a very crucial time late in regulation, where he saw the arm go up and he stopped and tried to look at the board and react to the penalty while the play was going on in a tie game late in the game. You can't have that. Do that. That's here.
That's the concern with Artie is hey, yo,
got to focus.
Take your Ritalin. Stay here with me.
I think that's Blashill with a young player. Hey, I want accountability. This is what's going to happen. Yeah, you're the number 2 overall pick. Yeah, you're one of our top prospects, but you got to earn it with me. I don't know you from anybody. I wasn't here. I don't care. You have to impress me.
Yep.
What you did last game, can't have it. Sit him down for a home opener against Ivan Demidov.
That is a message.
That is a message. I don't hate it.
Me neither.
If he comes
I hate the red carpet thing.
Yeah, that was
and again, was not just for him, for all the guys. If you are on this roster, you should be on the red carpet as long as you're able to walk.
You should have been on there and wave to the crowd and take some pictures. It's fun. Landon Slaggert could have warmed all of our hearts with his smile walking down the red carpet.
No one had a better time on a red carpet than Frank Nazar.
He
was like, let's go. He's doing that.
He's a man of the people.
He really is.
He has embraced, this city has embraced him, and he's embraced it back. It's great to see. He's got that personality. He's humble, but he
knows he's a star.
He does.
Yeah, he knows.
He does. He knows. And he is. So we knew that when we saw him in Michigan. We were like, that kid is going to own this city.
Well, the coolest part of the night, personally, for me, was you may have seen that Frank Nazar's mom and sister surprised him at the game. They were at the red carpet, and Frank was turning the corner to go up on the stage, and his mom grabbed his arm, and he just gave her the biggest hug. And then after the ceremony, she introduced herself to me and Mario, and was like, I watch the show every day. Me and my daughter watch the show every day. So hello to Mrs. Nazar and Frank's sister. We also met a bunch of fans out there.
Should have watched it when it was better.
We met Frank. We met Froggy J, works at the Madhouse store. Nice to meet Froggy J. Ellie and Maggie were on the red carpet in the front row. They said they had to get there at 1:30 to be up front, but they were at a perfect corner spot. We met Matt and Ryan, two brothers that drove down from Grand Rapids, and that met members of the Magnuson family, introduced themselves. So very cool. Yeah. People are checking us out. But to hear that Frank Nazar's mom and sister listen to every show, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and shout out. A lot of people came up and said hello today. I had one guy want to take a picture with me. I'm like, you really want to waste the memory on your phone? But okay, man. It's awesome to know that people are out there and enjoy what's getting put out. So that's always a good feeling. And hello to the Nazars. And it was like the first training camp, like the third day of training camp, when Connor Bedard's dad, Jim, introduced himself to me and was like, yeah, we've been listening to you guys to get to know the city. I'm like, uh-oh. Did we say anything? But yeah, very cool. So welcome to all the hockey moms and Blackhawk mom and dads who listen.
All right, we've got some post-game audio rolling in. Before we hit the break zone, why don't we hear from Blackhawks captain Frank Nazar. I was just looking at the word Frank Nazar. Nick Foligno, he spoke after the game. We've not heard this. Not sure what Nick had to say, but I'm sure it's spicy.
Guys going out there and maybe the energy running out.
Yeah, it's not a recipe for winning hockey, right? So we can complain about it all, but stay out of the box and understand we're a really good 5-on-5 team, and that's how we're going to get on the final.
Connor mentioned in Boston, you guys don't want to take any shit this year. There's kind of a line, I guess. How much of it are you happy that there is more of that mentality, and then also that maybe it went a little too far tonight?
Yeah, it's just hockey. It's emotions, and there's no line other than you stand up for yourselves, and I thought we did a great job of that. Louis jumping in and after a hit on Frank, and other countless times where guys are coming after our best players, and you have to stand up for one another regardless of how the game's going. And I think that builds a culture in here of an understanding of the pride that you wear this sweater and the pride that you have in this locker room for each other. And it's nice to see.
Yeah, I know your past moral victories, but I guess for 3 consecutive games to be in it and not finish it off.
Yeah, I think the mindset in here has to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, right? I think we're going to be in a lot of these games this year, and we have to find a way to have our details and everything else allow us to get the win, right? Not have to go the other way. And so far it hasn't broke that way for us. So we have to be a little bit more understanding in our game and how to finish out games, and then how to get the next one, right? And that's the big thing of learning to win in this league, and we're going through that. But it's like you said, I'm not a moral victory guy, but there is a stepping stones here, and I'm encouraged by some things I see, but now it's the details and the habits to win, I think.
I was going to say, you got 1 point in 3 games. That's not good, but you look more competitive. You look faster. Does it just feel that way out there?
Yeah, it does, and that's the hard part, right? We're reality and results based, and so I'm encouraged by what I see, but at the end of the day, we need to find a way to get wins, right? That's how you learn as well, to be in tight games and, okay, what did I do to get that win? As opposed to right now, we seem to be giving them away. And, it's early in the season, so there's no panic, but it's on all of us, the pride that we have to play the right way and get this done when we need to.
You've always been a pretty positive guy. Is this as positive as have you been going into a season on this team, in this franchise?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm encouraged by what I see. I really am. I think there's a different mindset in this group. So it's disappointing we haven't got results, but that's how hard it is to win this league. You have to have a mindset of understanding that, not just being okay with being in the game. You gotta find a way to step on their throats, for lack of a better word, and find a way to get that done like they did tonight, right? So that mentality has to now shift from, hey, we're becoming a good team, to no, we are a good team, and we have to believe that and put it into our practice.
Good to see Rinzel get his first.
Yeah, you're thrilled. It always brings you back to yours, and he's playing great for us, big minutes, and he's learning as he goes. But to see him score that, I think it just gives him a ton of confidence, and we need him feeling good. He's a great player for us, and he's going to be a big time player for us.
How do you guys kind of avoid getting deflated after 3 close losses like this?
Well, I just think with the youth, sometimes that's the best part, right? It's quick memories, and guys are excited to come back to the rink and get better. And then that's the beautiful thing about our team is we have an understanding that every day we have an opportunity to get better, and so that's the mindset, is just knowing that we have to find a way to get it done now on Monday and make sure our fans feel good about our game. And we did a lot of good things tonight, but didn't get the job done. So it's that mentality, that little attitude snarl that we have to come back with, and we're growing into that team.
Do you say anything to left off after being sad tonight?
There's conversations we'll have. I mean, it's part of growing, maturing as a player, right? And we obviously know he's a great player, but he's got to learn the pro side of it as well. And it's something that I'm sure he'll remember and continue to get better from.
All right, that was Nick Foligno. Mario is standing by. I know Jeff Flashel mentioned the Levshunov thing in a post game. We're going to hear from Jeff Flashel and Mario Tirabassi on the other side of this break. Do us a favor, hit that like button, stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more on CHGO Blackhawks. And most people can't name all their financial accounts or what they're worth, like your 401k, your properties, or investments. If you want to feel organized and confident in your finances, check out Monarch Money, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you if you've put off organizing your finances. You can link all your accounts in just minutes, get clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending. Zawaski, 95% fast food. Wow, that's correct. And real control over your money. You can even give access to your financial advisor at no extra cost. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code CHGO. And with hockey season back, really a fan of Prize Picks. It's awesome. You can pick categories, you can pick players, more than, less than. So for instance, like today, Connor Bedard, more than, less than, half a goal, more than, boom, you're a winner. You stack those, you win more and more. That's how you play. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Play Prize Picks to get action on football in more than 40 plus states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. How about that? On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play, like the Canadiens. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code CHGO to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CHGO. All right, with that, let's go out to the United Center and welcome Mario Tirabassi, who took in Jeff Flashel's post-game press conference. We have talked about a ton and feel like we've hardly gotten to anything, Mario. What were the vibes after the game, aside from Nick Foligno?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird game to try and evaluate, because you're kind of talking about two completely different experiences. You're talking about the game that was 5-on-5, and then the wackadoo game of the Blackhawks having to kill 10 penalties. It's really hard to kind of get a sense of what this game actually was in totality, but I think you kind of look at it piece by piece. The penalties were at a ridiculous number, but even still, if you go into a game and say you're going to kill 8 penalties, you kind of feel good about that effort. And Ilya Mikheyev, if be able to watch the game, he was spectacular on the penalty kill tonight. He seemed like he had a personal vendetta against the Montreal Canadiens. But Jeff Blashill mentioned that because a player as effective as Ilya Mikheyev was tonight on the penalty kill, because he was playing so much on the penalty kill, he didn't get the kind of opportunity that you'd want him to get at 5-on-5, given the way that he was playing tonight. So it's like one of those games where those guys killing penalties so much weren't able to translate as much to the 5-on-5 game, which 5-on-5, even strength, Blackhawks and a team that went to the playoffs last year, Montreal Canadiens, they were even. They were even, if not, you give a slight analytical advantage to what the Blackhawks are doing. So, I I mean, you come away from this game, it sucks the way it ended. It sucks that it was another, very close game, close loss. But I think you very clearly, if you've watched these first 3 games, you come away from it thinking that this is a Blackhawks team that is going to feel and look very different over the course of 82 games than it has in the last 3 seasons.
So we got a little bit of a news here. Samuel Savoie apparently has won the game for the Ice Hogs in overtime.
Heyo.
I'll give my first salute of the season.
Me too. Good night for the
Nice.
prospects. Kevin Korchinski, primary assist on the first goal, real good pass, and then Aiden Thompson and Ethan Del Mastro, 2 assists apiece. They assisted on the game tying goal, less than 2 minutes to play, and then they assisted on the overtime goal. So very good. And 35 saves for Drew Comezzo.
There we go.
There you go. There's some positivity.
So the penalties. I know Jeff Flashel talked about them. We saw him go from fury to devious laughter as the game went on. I'm sure he was that addressed post game.
Yeah, a slow descent into madness, as we all had. He talked about what led to some of the penalties. Coming off of all the feistiness, the scrums, the battling that the Blackhawks found themselves in, and kind of talked about both that mentality that they have, where Connor Bedard has been said they're not going to take it from anyone this year, and they're going to be a team that's not going to back down. Having that mentality, but also balancing out where you get into a game where it gets really squirrely with penalties. So this is what Blashill had to say about that aspect of tonight's game.
Assuming you have that many penalties?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think most of those penalties, I don't necessarily think were like pushback penalties. It was, but some, certainly the Crevier one is, and we'll do that all day, every day. We'll develop that mentality 100% first. And is there time to pick your spot? Yeah, but we'll deal with that later. Right now, we got to make sure we look after each other. And I thought Louis did a great job with that. Great job coming in there. So, it was a night where, one of the things we got to do is we got to make sure we can control. I think there's frustrations when there's that many penalties, but we got to make sure we can control. So where our stick position is, those types of things. We'll never be a team that goes down light. That was a night we're paid to be light a little bit, but we'll never do that. We're not going to be a team that goes down light. We're going to be a team that plays through it. I thought it was probably some that had we gone down light, maybe we attracted attention to get the call, but that's not what this team's going to be about.
I like it.
I do like that. I mean, this is, and as we heard last year, we heard it so many effing times from Nick Foligno that we started rolling our eyes about building a culture. And that's exactly what he's talking about right there is, do we want to take 14 penalties in this game? No, but we're not going to let you come into our building or even when we're on the road. We're not going to get pushed around. We're not going to be that team ever. And teams are going to take note of that. Opponents are going to start noticing that was a battle for the Canadiens, who had a ton of power plays and pretty much broke even in this game. The Hawks are a bitch to play against, and it's going to continue. And culture is so important. Guys playing for each other, as we mentioned early on in the show, that's important. And you're seeing it. And it's not just the usual suspects. Like in years past, you could just count on it. It was Foligno or Murphy. It's now and again, Bertuzzi would face wash somebody. And if they didn't do it, nobody else stepped up. Now you've got Tavo running into a scrum. You've got Bedard throwing some rabid punches on Matheson. You've got Frank Nazar wrestling with people. Wyatt Kaiser's wrestling with people.
Colton Doc's getting in there, doing what he's supposed to be
him
doing.
and Kirby were having a conversation. I was like, make the dream come true.
Yeah, it's the Kachuk brothers did it. Why can't the Docs
right,
do it?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that,
they might both get hurt.
Everyone.
That's true.
When the Blackhawks are playing a Canadian team, the USA chant makes zero sense because 90% of the players on the ice are not American.
Yeah, but Jay, the Canadiens aren't American.
They're as American as the Blackhawks.
No, we're in America. They're not. Come on, Jay.
No.
Read a map.
Yeah, I did find it was a little silly to have a USA chant while a French Canadian guy beats the crap out of another Canadian guy on the ice.
I'm good. Thank you.
But whatever.
All right. Anyway, we digress. We also got into the Artem Levshinov situation. I liked what Foligno had to say, and look, there should be consequences.
Yeah.
But I want to see too, and we've seen veterans scratch. We saw Sam Lafferty scratched. Feel free to make that happen.
Hey, when Jason Dickinson and Landon Slager get back here in the next few days, neither of them, Jason Dickinson, Blashill said maybe up to a week total. Slager, get those guys back. I don't need to see Sam Lafferty again.
No, I'm good.
He's offering 0 to this team right now.
That was your insurance piece for the preseason. Fine. And we could talk about it. It's been in the chat. When does Ryan Donato have a serious talking to? He's been very unnoticeable this season. I don't know.
Far.
You said
he had 6 shots on goal according to the stat sheet. I don't remember any of them.
He had 10 shot attempts tonight.
I mean, that's good, but the eye test was, a lot of just not the same what we saw. 3 games, very small sample size, not making a declaration that he's bad at hockey all of a sudden after a great year last year. But if you're going to make the young guys be accountable when they're not pulling their weight, do you do it to the veterans too?
Oh, he's already gotten pushed down from the top line to the third line very quickly. So we'll see how that continues. But we got off track. Levshinov.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation with Levshinov. At morning skate today, he was taking normal line rushes with Wyatt Kaiser. He was running the second power play unit when they were practicing the power play, and then was the last guy off the ice. Not like, oh, he was just like literally he was just working with the skills coach after morning skate, which is something usually saved for the scratches. So then it was kind of like, well, why is he going to get scratched? One thing that I did notice during morning skate, and I don't know if it was like if it played into it or not, or if this was a decision that Jeff Blashill had made that Levshinov was going to sit tonight before skate had even happened. But there was a moment at the beginning of morning skate where they're kind of just going through like a positioning drill, like here's where you go when the puck is over here, and just kind of like a very simple thing. And Levshinov was like out of position, kind of messing up the drill, and Blashill, was shouting at him. So I don't know if it was like maybe that played in the factor. Who knows? But bottom line is it came down to Artem Levshinov 3 games into the year is getting scratched. And, at the end of the game on Thursday night, Blashill talked about his 2 third period penalties being kind of an issue that he'll have to work on to know not to take that many penalties that he's taken so far through the first 2 games, but also situationally as well. He also spoke after the game about the decision process and how sometimes sitting out games is part of developing and maturing as a pro. So here's what Blashill had to say.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is trying to look at his development path. And so, sometimes it's okay to miss games. It's okay to in certain games not get a lot of ice time. That's part of development too. I don't think development is just you just play and they magically get better. Certainly playing is part of it. You got to have confidence, but learning how to do things certain ways is part of it too. Making sure there's all of that. We feel like it's the best place for him to be is with us right now, and he's going to play plenty of games, and there's going to be some games he doesn't play, and that's just the reality of it. But that's, to me, it's honestly, it's not a big deal. It's part of the growth process for a lot of players.
All right, that's fine. I trust that. I trust the process, and look, we knew that there were going to be adventures with Artem Levshinov from the moment he was drafted. Actually, from before he was drafted, when we were doing our pre-scouts on Demidov or Levshinov or whoever else we might have been talking about, one of the things about Levshinov was he is a risk taker. He is going to kind of free ball it, and skate around where he wants. And yeah, you heard me. And he's going to take some risks, but you need to rein that in at the NHL level. You don't want to completely strip it away from him, because that's what will make him special when he reaches his peak. But you need to rein it in a little bit right now. And if it's not getting reined in, and Mario, your observation from morning skate is interesting, where if he's just not being attentive in practices or in morning skates, or he's having a little bit of trouble with the language barrier, they have to figure that out, because he's a hugely important part of this organization's future. And if it takes them hiring some Belarusian coach to come and stand on the ice next to Chris Kunitz and Brian Keane, if that's what they have to do, that's what they have to do, because they got to get this right. But I have no, if it's, as long as he's not going to sit for 5 games. Michael Misa got scratched by the Sharks. We saw what the Ducks did with Leo Carlson for his first year, where he was sort of in and out of the lineup.
That was more load management for him. I'm not sure what the Misa stuff is going on in San Jose, but that's not my problem. I'm
just saying, like, just the idea of scratching a young player is not
no
foreign.
I would imagine that, like, he'll be back in on Monday night. I would imagine so.
Yeah, I think this situation doesn't necessarily fall all on his play. I think, over the first 2 games there were some ups and downs. You live with that. I think this might be more of a an off the ice kind of thing, like, kind of like a tone setter of, like, you're in the NHL, you're expected to be a guy that's going to be in the NHL all season. You're going to be a contributor to this team, and he's 19. He'll be 20 later this month. Like, he's a young guy. He's still trying to figure out the NHL game. And part of that, I think, is sometimes, you learn some hard lessons. And Jeff Blashill is not a guy that's going to back down from, setting a tone, a culture with accountability. And yes, it has to be across the board. And it can't just be the young guys. Obviously, if veterans aren't pulling their weight, or if they, pull the same stuff that's going to get a guy like Levshinov or anyone else in that group benched, then they also have to face the same things. But I think this is not necessarily a play thing. I think this might be just kind of a learning to be a professional kind of thing, and how to handle yourself, how to make sure that you're doing your job as a professional, both, on and off the ice. So I expect he's going to play on Monday. But if it's not, if he's not in the lineup, then maybe there's a bigger discussion to be had, or maybe there is some, go down to Rockford something. I don't know. I don't think we're at that point. I don't think his play should be dictated to he needs to go down to Rockford. I think this might just be a, get your head screwed on straight and go from there.
Yeah. And, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I believe they're practicing tomorrow, what the lineup will be. I mean, you're not taking Louis Crevier out after these last 2 games. He had a goal in Boston, and then he had the big fight tonight. You're not taking him out. So, does Grzelcyk get a night off if you put Levshinov back again? That's probably the prime candidate.
Grzelcyk today he's
been fine.
1457 and hitting a giveaway. I mean,
he's been fine. Like, took
a penalty too.
He's been,
not bad, not good.
If he's
a veteran, you can scratch.
Replacement level 6 defenseman, sure. But you can't take Crevier out after these last 2 games.
I wouldn't. No, he's been good. And not just the answering the bell. He scored a goal the other night, had a really good scoring chance today. He's been solid. He's been solid. Mario, before we let you go, I heard Nick Foligno was sort of asked about the idea of like moral victories. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if Jeff Blashill had anything to say in that regard too.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the team has had 3 games, of course, obviously all 3 losses, but they've all been 1-goal games. They've all been tied 2-2 going into the 3rd period of each of those games. And I think, if you watch the games, you see the play style and the way that this group is playing, and being 0-2-1 is not indicative of, the efforts that have been given on the ice. So Blashill had some thoughts on that and where they go from here.
Yeah, I mean, you're disappointed with the 1 point, and I think if you just look at it without watching our games, you're saying, well, whatever about the Blackhawks. I think people that have watched every game, we're in position to win every hockey game. We need to continue to do that, but then find ways to win. We're not, here for moral victories, but we are here for process. And to me, that's the number one thing. I said it when I first took the job. We're not going to take any shortcuts to try to win a game in terms of getting 2 points. That's certainly important, but process is the most important. I think we've taken steps in process. We still have a ways to go. We still have to, again, like tonight, you got to find ways to not beat yourself. So, how do you beat yourself? You give up too many chances. How do you beat yourself? You take too many penalties, and so we just, in Florida, we gave up too many chances. Tonight we took too many penalties. So we're still working through some of that process stuff, but that's what we'll stay focused on. I like our guys a lot. I like their attitude. I like their approach. I like our talent. It's a growth process for sure. We knew it was going to be, and we'll continue to work through that growth process.
Yeah, I think I keep coming back to, at the beginning of this season, like, what can this team do to kind of set the foundation for the start of the season? What can their base layer of, performances be? And I think through these first 3 games, you've got 2 teams that last year went to the postseason in Montreal and Florida. Obviously, Florida won the Stanley Cup. And you have a team in Boston that it was a huge letdown that they had the season that they did last year, and they still got some talent on their team. So you look at the 3 games that they've played, to be in all of them, the way that they're playing, the style they're playing, the guys that have shined so far for this team, like, you should have a lot of belief that this team is going to be a lot better as you get through this season. Game 1 to game 82 is going to be a completely different looking team as they get more comfortable in Jeff Blashill's system, and they start, finding their way through some of these games. And I think it's a team ready to kind of take that next step. So I'm very encouraged, even with a 0-2-1 record. I'm very encouraged with what I've seen. And I believe that as we go on, things are going to start clicking more, and this team is going to be presenting a lot more problems to more teams around the league than maybe some people were expecting.
All right, the game puck votes are rolling. Mario, let the people know who you chose and why.
I went with Connor Bedard. He got the power play goal, the 2-2 goal. So that was pretty good. But I think the main reason I'm giving it to Bedard tonight is because the offseason, we were talking so much about, like, what can year 3 be? What can year 3 be? We are seeing a Connor Bedard with confidence through the roof. I didn't think that he could be, more confident in his abilities and his, play on the ice and fit in the group. But the confidence that he has, he's jawing at the opposition. He's in the middle of scrums. I'd like him to be in the middle of them a little bit less, but it's encouraging to see him be in there and not backing down. His teammates are sticking up for him. This concept that a lot of people had through his first 2 years of just like, they got to do things to protect Bedard. And now I feel like we have a Connor Bedard that's, like, out there doing things for his teammates and doing things to protect himself and doing things to stand up for himself. And I think the speed is there. The skill is obviously there. Now I feel like this confidence of, like, he's broken out of this shell of, like, teenager in the NHL and all this stuff. And I think he's really found a groove in being a pro and being a guy that's squarely in the NHL and is not afraid of anybody. So again, I think this version of Connor Bedard through 3 games so far is a guy that looks a lot different than he did in the first 2 seasons. It's
confidence through comfort. He's clearly more comfortable being in the AHL, and that's allowing him to be more confident. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your pick.
I went with Ilya Mikheyev. Easy for me to say. The rushing machine never breaks. I know they say that about Ovi, but he was just a monster tonight. Just did so many things that won't show up on the stat sheet, but he's a guy that plays winning hockey. Jeff Blashill loves to talk about winning habits. Ilya Mikheyev has a lot of winning habits.
Yes, he does. I went with Spencer Knight. Just the height of calm and cool and collected the whole game. Controlling rebounds. I just really loved his play. The last goal, what are you going to do? He loses his stick. He's already made 3 incredible saves on the sequence and just it gets tipped in front. Spencer Knight has been outstanding. There were so many opportunities that Montreal had that looked like sure goals that he was either able to get post to post, make the glove save on. Spencer Knight looks dialed in as hell
on that shorthanded goal after Rinzel turned it over at the blue line. One thing that's impressed me about Spencer Knight the first 2 games, his rebound control is excellent.
Yes.
He just seems to absorb everything where Soderblom struggled in that a little bit in Boston. Soderblom played great, but there were a lot of bouncy pucks.
Yes.
So yeah, Spencer Knight is he's going to get a few of these wins here soon.
All right, Mario, before we let you go, any tidbits to share?
No, not anything from any media availabilities, but I will share that following the end of the Blackhawks locker room access, we were leaving and heading over to Jeff Blashill's press conference here in the press room, and the Canadiens media, literally wall to wall across the hallway, were doing their own presser with Martin St. Louis, and I think it was probably 8 minutes. I edited all 3 of the locker room videos in the time we were waiting for them to be done, because we could not get through because the TV cameras were against the back wall, and then all the reporters are against the opposite wall. So it was
That's
literally
our hallway,
nowhere
damn
to
it.
go. Yeah.
Mark
Lazarus was apoplectic about the situation. So
the Montreal media, there were more people there from Montreal covering this game than people from Chicago. That's not an exaggeration. It's crazy when they come to town, because they've got like 4 different networks that broadcast the game.
It's all they got. That and Mark Trestman's Alouettes. He's not still there, is he?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
The Expo's still there.
No, the Washington Nationals are bad. So even if there's some lingerers,
Tim Marine's still stealing bases up there.
So. All right, Mario. Thanks for the hit. We will talk to you Monday at 2:30. No,
we got
before that post game. Play Monday.
Yeah,
exciting
game.
All right.
Game on Monday.
All right, that is Mario Tirabassi from the UC. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Mario_Tirabassi. All right, we've got some stuff to do. We're going to do the frat house and madhouse. We're going to pay off the game puck. So if you have not voted for a game puck yet, you got like 3 minutes to do it. So get those votes in. And close to 400 people watching right now, over 400 people watching right now. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Please do us a favor. If you've not done it yet, hit that like button. And CHGO Sports, our YouTube page, is very, very close to 90,000 followers. We were on the air, and Steven, are you available to pop on? Give me a thumbs up if so.
Yes, here I am.
Okay, I know we were on the air for like 2 YouTube milestones. Do you remember which ones they were? It doesn't matter, but maybe off the top of your head.
I think 75,000 subscribers.
Was it 70? I think it was maybe 50 as well?
It could have been.
So let's be on the air for how far away are we from 90?
I am actually going to share the screen right now, and we can see it live.
Analytics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's doable.
That's close.
Yeah, that's doable. We are, don't make me do math, 72 away?
You did it.
Damn it. All right, I was looking at 10.
We are Thomas Kopechki subscribers away from.
That's so embarrassing, dude. All right, we're 82 away.
82
from 90K. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, become our 90,000th follower. If you do,
Steven, you need to clip that and put that on social immediately.
It'll surprise
Some
no
Steiner
one.
math out of Jay Zawaski.
Exactly. It'll surprise nobody. All right, let's go. Are we ready for the frat house? Steven, give me a thumbs up if so. All right, let's do it. We got to hear the music first, though.
What's the frat
All right, the Frat House of Madison, which is our new version of Connor's Corner, where we profile a young Blackhawk. We're going to profile Sam Rinzel today. He had his first NHL goal, an absolute snipe, by the way. Really nice shot, 2 shots on goal, and 25:58 of ice time.
So much for limiting those minutes.
Man,
but 14 penalties will get you on the ice a lot.
He was good. There are still those. You could see those young moments from him too. He tried to do kind of a dipsy doodle, like between the legs thing at the blue line that didn't go well. But again, just as we're working out with Artem Levchinov, Rinzel doesn't need quite that much work, but there's still those moments of
There's
you
still-
got to coach the college out of him.
Yeah, he'll get there.
He'll get there.
But
Yes.
those look like some very stiff, crusty socks in the corner of that room.
No, don't touch them. They'll shatter.
I gotta get like better music for that.
No, we gotta get the EDM music.
Can we get like
it's what the kids listen to these days.
Can't we get like Shout from Animal House?
That makes me
think of-
I guarantee you, if we went man to man, you would not hear one single player know what that song was or what Animal House was.
I don't care.
You know,
Chris,
Chris,
it's not their show.
You know, Chris, the PR guy, Chris Popovic, shout out, get some socks.
He's got socks. They're just very
He's
short.
never heard of them. He's never heard of. He listened to me carefully. YouTube, Chris, the PR guy for the Hawks, has never heard of the movie Annie. Never seen it.
Never even heard of the musical.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
And when I said Hard Knock Life, Jay-Z sampled it. He goes,
too young for
he
that,
didn't
too.
know what that was.
That was 10 years before he was born.
And what's he, 24, 25?
It's way too young.
Anyway.
You didn't know who Rush is either.
Yeah, well,
But I ain't
that's
mad at him
understandable.
for that.
By the way, we'll get into that. Steven, who's the winner of the game puck tonight? Do we have a definitive winner? I know Spencer Knight was slightly ahead.
Yeah, you're not kidding when you say slightly. So with 42% of the votes, Spencer Knight wins. Connor Bedard with 41%.
Wow, no one likes Artem Lev or Ilya Mikheyev. I was with you. That was my vote too. We can't both vote for the same guy.
I can't help
so.
it that the YouTube chat doesn't know puck.
Apparently so. We should talk because you mentioned Rush. Tom Sawyer, the theme of the opening video. I gotta say, from the red carpet to the pregame ceremony, they hit a home run.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Everything was timed right. Everything worked right. The alumni, the coolest thing I thought was the alumni were all given jackets, and on the sleeve, it would have the eras in which they played. So it'd be like 70s, 80s, and then Chicago Stadium. And then if they're in a Hall of Fame, there was a Hall of Fame. And then the other sleeve had alumni and their jersey number on it. So those guys really, and they went from era to era, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then the Cup era, like one at a time through the aisle. I mentioned Kyle Calder. I'm just trying to go top of my head from like the guys in my era. Ronick, of course, was there. Savard, Chelios.
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith looks like he could still play. Michel Goulet.
Yeah, Michel Goulet. Keith Carney was there.
Keith Carney.
Straight off
little
the
George
set of-
Clooney.
No, he looks like Christopher Knopf. He
Oh,
looks like-
yes.
Yes, that's who he looks like.
Yes.
He looks like he's straight off the set of Sex in the City right here.
I should have sent Steven some pictures.
But yeah, I mean, it was as cool as it was to see some of those guys. It was depressing in the same time because it was like seeing all these guys that I grew up watching, and then the guys that were, important to my fanhood. They were when I first really got into this sport and this team, and then you see them and you're like, oh man, they are old now, which in turn makes me old. And it was a little depressing. A lot more gray hair on all of us than when they were on the ice. But it was so cool. Very cool event. They had a big dinner last night with all of them. I'm sure they kept it under control. They just
absolutely.
Sure, they only had one glass of wine.
The
each.
90s Blackhawks partying. I can't see that.
Yeah. Well, Chris Hertberger was there to keep everybody in line.
Look, they
talk
said
about
they
guys. Talk about guys that got zero reaction.
They said
nobody. When they announced him, I text Jay. I said, was Chris Hertberger the Chris Chelios' Uber driver, and I just let him stick around.
Oh God, good old number 36 played
second best 36 ever.
There you go. He played 70 games as a Hawk, had 25 points in 70 games.
Not too bad.
No, just not a guy who. From what I understand, everybody was invited. Like all alumni say, hey, if you can come, you can come. I was right too. He is good old number 36. There's something wrong with me. Yeah, it was cool. Like for me, Steve Smith is one of those guys who was really like one of the key Hawks when I was coming up in my fandom. And Steve Smith was a guy that was tough as nails, didn't fight all the time, but when he did, he won decisively.
Yeah.
And I think right now, to this day, I don't know how old Steve Smith is, but if someone fought him, he would win decisively.
I wouldn't fight him.
See, he is
Not
a
a million
frightening
years.
individual.
Steve Smith is an old school tough guy. I mean, Chelios gets all the glory from those eras,
And rightfully
but
so. He was awesome.
Yes, he was. But he'll be the first to tell you, Steve Smith and Gary Suter helped out, and Keith Carney helped out a lot in those days to do. Steve Smith was like the Nicholas Jarmelson to Duncan Keith to Chris Chelios.
Yeah,
like he did a lot of the defensive. Not that Chelios didn't do that stuff. Just saying he was like the unsung hero, blocking shots, finishing body checks, doing the dirty work, and allowing his other teammates to get the spotlight.
We've got some pictures from the red carpet. If Steven just want to throw them up, we can describe them. There's Corey Crawford and Chris Chelios. Huge ovation for Corey Crawford. That dude is beloved.
It's about damn time.
Yes. Thank you.
About damn time.
But you can see Chelios' jacket has the C on it. And then we've got another one where there's Jocelyn Thibault on the left. It's not a good picture. Sorry. And there's Tony Amante. So you can see that Amante's sleeve has the eras. I try to get a picture of that. The eras in which he played. I think it has the buildings they played in too. So it would have Chicago Stadium and United Center. The bald man behind them, that is Kyle Calder. Yeah. Looks like if me and my Uncle Steve had a child, that would be Kyle Calder.
You could have, I remember Kyle Calder when he played. Thought he was a heck of a player when he was here. Part of the famed ABC line.
Yep.
If you were to show me that picture and say, what former Blackhawk is that? I would never in a million years guessed Kyle Calder.
Trying to think who else was there. Ben Eager was there. Ryan Vandenbush was there. For those who remember Vandenbush, like classic enforcer, good old 14 and 23 were two numbers with the Blackhawks. Boy, Eric Daze, we mentioned. Tony Amani was there. Bart Hole. and Bort Hole. Were Dennis and Brett not available to honor Bobby?
Must not have been.
Well, they brought out Bert. What is it? Bart.
Bart.
Name your kids Brett and Bart. That's so weird. Brett, Bart, you get over here. That's gotta be so
I thought
frustrating.
my name was Jesus Christ.
It was cool though. They did a great job. I hope they get the ceremony.
They had a lot of the family, like Pierre Palat's family was there.
Stan Mikita's grandchildren. Yeah. It's like they took Stan's face and like plastered them.
AI.
They are undeniably Mikitas, those kids. Yeah. And I know one of them isn't like a highly recruited golfer, like a top-notch golfer, those kids. So but it was cool. They were signing autographs. You could tell they were getting a kick out of that. It was just a really great night. They did a great job.
No Eddie Belfour.
Yeah, there were a few. I mean,
I'm sure they've got
like Duncan Keith wasn't there. Yeah. Seabrook wasn't there. I'm sure as the
Duncan Keith, those guys will be there for the Hall of Fame induction later. Duncan Keith's getting in. You know, they don't want to burn up all those visits in one shot.
Yeah,
you know, I think it was. I thought it was cool that it was a lot of some of the more lesser known names getting their moment to come back and have the fans cheer from it. Really cool. You know, some of those guys played on teams that nobody cared about.
Hey, that's
zero cared about.
I always joke about Steve Pops as the most obscure Blackhawk, and he was there. Number 8. Now, the reason what's crazy about Steve Pops is he played in the most obscure recent era of the Blackhawks. This is a guy who literally faxed his resume to the Blackhawks, and they were like, yeah, okay. We need another defenseman. And he became one of the team's better defensemen. Just a very, stay at home, nothing fancy about his game. But they talk about like a lunch pail guy. That was Steve Pops. Like he just, hey, I need a job. Screw it. I'm going to email my resume to this team that's ass, and maybe they'll take me. And they did.
Kind of how Pat Foley got a job. Sent a cassette in, and they said, okay, sure. Pat Foley and
yes,
Jeremy Roenick, the newest Blackhawks ambassadors too.
That happened today.
That's pretty cool. I'm very glad that Pat Foley seems to be on good terms with the organization. I know
he killed it in the
he did a great job. Of course he did. I mean, he did it for did he do the Chelios night or was that Old Check? I think that was Edzo.
I think that was Edzo.
but
he did the host tonight, maybe.
yeah, he did the host tonight. Of course, Pat Foley killed it. I mean, there's no doubt.
Awesome.
I'm glad that he's kind of embraced by the organization and it's mutual. I'm not gonna say I know things, but I don't think he didn't get to go out on his terms. I think he kind of felt he could still do it, but the organization made that tough decision. But I'm glad that doesn't seem to be any hard feelings.
That's great,
and he's back in. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of him now that he's an ambassador.
Yes, I just want to give a little Steve Pops update. 220 games with the Hawks, 30 points, 118 penalty minutes. He was a +7, averaged 1937 a night. He played from 2000 to 2004 with the Hawks.
That's the worst era you could possibly be a
bad
Blackhawk.
time to be a Blackhawk.
The worst era you could possibly be a Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we missed about tonight. I don't think so. It was great though, just to see Foley back, and I really hope that the Hawks somehow published a thing on YouTube so people can watch the entire ceremony. Because I know the game was on NHL Network nationally, but they didn't show any of it. So if you weren't, and I don't even know
was broadcasting.
Okay, but I think for people that weren't local might have missed some of it. But
I would imagine they'll probably throw it up there, or there's probably enough clips online you can see all.
They did a fantastic job,
parts, but they always do. They always knock these out of the park.
Yeah, great job, Blackhawks, and 41 or 40 more home games to go, and the Centennial stuff's going to keep going. By the way, really cool new merch. Like, you're looking for Centennial stuff, they've got you 100%. So I actually picked up the Days Game puck. It's got both teams on it, and it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like an embossed puck.
Yeah.
So it's like 3-dimensional almost. So I grabbed one of those from the store just to keep it as a memento of the first night of the Centennial season at the United Center. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. We really appreciate it. Again, 345 people watching. We love it. Thank you. We will be back Monday post-game, Hawks and Utahns. And now that our show's over, I'll tell you, CHGO Cubs post-game is live now, doing reports post-mortem on the Cubs season.
Post-game show of the season, unfortunately.
Got to hit to win.
Big if true.
Got to protect those 2032 assets, though, right, Cubs? Anyway, I'll let them handle that show because I'll just do a whole other hour on my frustration about the Cubs. Anyway, thanks you all for being here. Hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you are fun. Steven, did we get to 90,000? Just give me a head shake.
No. How many can you put it up to, Jay? How many do we need?
78.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Cut that one.
Nice done. You are correct.
All right. We will talk to everybody Monday after the Hawks and Mammoth game. See you then. We love you. Thanks for watching CHGO Blackhawks, presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.